First product we're going to cover today is an improved product. This is Neenah Coldenhove. This is their improved ImageClip LaserDark transfer paper. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to lay some examples out on the table. Sprite, if you can go ahead and give me an overhead shot on this, please.
Gotcha, buddy.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right. What we're going to see here, this is the old ImageClip LaserDark formulation. And what we'll notice here is one thing it had a tendency to do was collect a lot of white edging in and around some of the designs. This is the same graphic done with the new and improved ImageClip LaserDark. And as you can see by these examples, we are able to get a much cleaner weed out of the product.
Sorry.
And the reason that we were able to do that is because Neenah has reformulated the B sheet. So to give you an idea, when you get this product, you should see a sticker that appears to let you know that the B sheet has been reformulated. Now, the great thing about the reformulation is that the instructions for the product haven't changed at all. So in other words, when it comes to running the imaging sheet or A sheet through your printer, you run it in the same manner. If you're using an Oki system, that basically means operating at what we call ultra heavy 1 media weight. If you're using any other kind of printer, somewhere between a 140 to 150 gram per square meter media weight. Now, as far as the B sheet is concerned, again, the B sheet has been reformulated. The A sheet or imaging sheet has not changed at all. So we still use the same time, temperature, and pressure, which is between 240 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 seconds with a light to medium pressure. Now I'm getting ready to demonstrate it here on the heat press, but the technique that you want to employ when you're using the new formulation ImageClip LaserDark is you want to set your pressure a little lighter than what you would normally set it for. The B sheet is a little more pressure sensitive than what it was previously. Now, what this might mean is that if you use a little bit too much pressure, you might see a little bit of excess emulsion around your design where it doesn't belong. So remember, we want to start with a light to medium pressure with our heat press set between 240 to 250 Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go over to the press here. And I'm just going to drop the platen down to pre-warm my platen. That should do it. And I am going to take the printed imaging sheet. You notice I got my image mirror to reverse. A nice feature about the B sheet here is that the new formulation B sheet is actually cut bigger than the A sheet. So what this is trying to eliminate is the edging that you might get around the sides of your design, because normally the transfer sheet is cut a little smaller than the imaging sheet. But I like the change that Neenah Coldenhove did to this B sheet. So we're pressing at 245 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 seconds. I'm starting with a light pressure. If I need to adjust the pressure, I'll work my way up slightly. But what I'm looking for is full white coverage design only on the printed toner. So we'll go ahead and remove my cover sheet. Now, one thing I like to do with the new formulation is I like to give it a few seconds before I do my peel, just to give that emulsion a little time to settle. I'm going to go ahead and finish the peel here. Okay. Now, to hold the graphic up here, see this area where I didn't get the white emulsion laid down? That probably means that my pressure is a little too light. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase by about half a turn, and I'm going to give it another attempt. What we want to do is start out, like I said, with a light pressure and slowly work our way up. Because with the new formulation, like I said, it's a bit more pressure sensitive than the older formulation. But we're willing to take that trade-off, so to speak, if we can get a cleaner weed. So let's put them back. And again, we'll press for 20 seconds between 240 to 250 Fahrenheit. Now, if I made, let's say, a radical adjustment to the pressure, where all of a sudden I started getting excess emulsion, I would have to back the pressure back. But what I'm doing is basically working in half-turn increments until I get the pressure nailed. Okay. All right. Got a much better weed the second time around, except for this one top corner again. But like I said, as far as the coverage is concerned, I'm just missing that one corner there. So at this point, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go a half a turn. I'm going to go about a quarter turn tighter. Again, A sheet, B sheet, together. Oops, let's put that cover sheet down. A little bit more added pressure, again, 240, 250 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 seconds. Now, once we get the emulsion set on the paper, remember, we can go ahead and apply the design right now, or we can store that design in some type of sealable container and apply it up to a year later. And again, slow, steady peel. Got it that time. So again, this is the new and improved Neenah ImageClip LaserDark. Condé is now carrying this product. So when you get this product from Condé, you are getting the new formulation. Like I said, the great thing about the new formulation is we get a much better weed attempt with the new formulation, and we don't have the white around our designs like we've seen from the older formulation paper. So I think it's a tremendous improvement that Neenah has made on the product. So if you're using Neenah ImageClip LaserDark now, you should really love the new formulation. If you haven't tried Neenah ImageClip before, maybe you ought to give it a try. Remember, we do offer it in 10-sheet sample packs here at Condé. So let's go ahead and move on to our next product here. Now this product, it's a new product to Condé. It'll be literally coming in when, Sprite? Any second now?
Yeah, next week.
Okay, and what we're talking about is the new Forever Hot Stamp Foil. If you caught Christopher Sigmund's presentation earlier in the day, you may have gotten to witness it. The hot stamping foil I think he was using with both the new sublimation to cotton products that Forever offers that Condé is going to carry. But what we are going to do is we are going to put the foil on an already decorated Forever low temp laser dark transfer. Now basically I did this as a white stencil because what I'm going to show you here is a cool technique for layering hot stamping foil. So we're going to add multiple colors to this design. Let's go ahead and get started with that. First thing we need to do is get our heat press up to 275 to 280 degrees Fahrenheit. So while our press is kicking up to heat, I'm going to go ahead and take my t-shirt, lay it out on the press platen, and make sure it's nice and flat. Now, let's grab some foil. That is a bubble glitter foil that I think is really cool. I also love this color, this orange confetti. What we're going to do here is I took the orange confetti and cut it into strips, so to speak. So with the strips and with the silver, I want to show you how to overlay the foil material so we could do multicolor decoration with foil. Now, we'll notice here, I've already got the design down. All I did was created the design with black toner because the forever low temp transfer is basically the target for the foil to stick to. Now, here's the technique that we need to employ when we're multi-layering foil. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put a strip down. You'll notice I've got the decorative side up on the foil here. I'm going to cover with a nonstick silicone sheet. I'm going to cover it up. Whenever we're layering FlexSoft, we want to go at 275 to 280 degrees, but we only want to go 10 to 12 seconds at a time instead of the full 30 seconds. I'm going to show you why. So we'll go ahead and drop the press down. And like I said, as we're putting on multiple layers at a time, we want to do it in 10-second increments. Now, what I'm going to do here, get this out the way real quick. Okay. What I'm going to do is use a piece of metal that I've got around the shop here to rapidly cool my first layer of foil. I'm going to peel that first layer off. Bang. So now, let's go ahead and put our second strip down. Going to put my second strip going the opposite way. Create a cool little X effect here. And again, we want to cover non-stick silicone sheet, protective paper, and again, I'm pressing my next layer for 10 seconds, 275 to 280 degrees, but as long as we're going in 10-second increments, the foil should stick to our forever low temp layer, but shouldn't stick on top of any other layer that we've put down. So again, let's put the rapid cool. Be careful when we lift it. Okay. Peel away our second layer. All right, so now I've got the X effect on the design here. What I'm going to do is come over the top of this completely with some of the glitter foil here. So let's jump back on the heat press. Go ahead and lay my shirt out again. And I'm going to cut off a piece of foil big enough to cover the remainder of the design. There we go. Now, to give everybody an idea on the cost of the rolls, we're looking at an initial cost of about $35 per roll, because at Condé, we are going to carry what's known as the premium rolls, not the standard rolls. Standard rolls are a little less expensive, but we're carrying the premium rolls because we like the glitter and the rainbow and the confetti and all the other cool effects. Now, like I said, what should happen here is that if we only go 10 seconds, the glitter, the silver glitter, will stick to the black areas. You know, in other words, the original Forever Low Temp. Where this is already decorated with orange foil, the silver glitter foil should not stick as long as we hit it quick, which is basically the 10 seconds that we're doing. So let's go ahead and use our protective sheets. Again, once we put on layer after layer after layer, we want to hit these individual layers in 10-second increments so that we get the foil, so the foil from the first layer, or the foil from the second layer doesn't stick to the first. Okay. Now, let's use our rapid cooling technique. I'm using a piece of metal. You could also use any other like heat absorbent material, like maybe a piece of ceramic, piece of glass, all kinds of crazy techniques for rapidly cooling designs. Have one crazy client in New Orleans who went out and got an old fridge on Craigslist. When I asked him how it works out, he says, shirts go in the top, beers go in the bottom. So I'm assuming it's working out just fine for Lawrence. So now we've rapidly cooled the design. Let's see if we've done it correct. Oh, is that cool or what? How awesome is that? So once you've got all your layers added, put the garment back on, take your silicone sheet, and at this point, you're going 20, 30 seconds to seal all those layers together on top of your low temp target. So that's basically how we're going to incorporate the foil. So remember, if you're using low temp LaserDark, all you need is a single color design and you can foil over the top. If you want to do a multicolor design, it will work as well. You just put the foil where you want it. If you want to use the foil on the sublimation to cotton products, there is a special type of film that you have to purchase to put over the sublimation emulsion to make it sticky enough for the foil to work. So bear that in mind. But there we have our multicolor design done on hot stamp foil. So remember, hot stamp foils that are coming to Condé, brand new product, they can work with the self-weeding transfer papers. They can also work with the sublimation to cotton papers. We anticipate it's going to be a real popular product here. We hope that you think so as well. Like I said, cost-wise, you're looking at about $35 per roll from the cost estimates that I did. Figure about 65 cents to decorate full 8.5 by 11 with a foil sheet. Figure about $1.30 to decorate 11 by 17 full bleed design with the foil sheet, to give you an idea of how much cost you have going in. But what it's going to do is it's going to significantly increase the value of the designs that you put on your garment. You add more value, you make more profit. All right. Let's keep rolling here. What have I got next? Oh, I've got a new paper for you guys. This is brand new from Neenah Cold & Hove. This is their new ImageClip 1 for white or light color garments. It's a color laser transfer paper, but essentially this paper is a single sheet self-weed t-shirt transfer paper. So let's go ahead and make our pressed adjustment here. Just like a real trade show, only have one heat press to work with. But as far as ImageClip 1 is concerned, you'll notice the familiar backing sheet, the Neenah Cold & Hove backing sheet. So this is your backing sheet side. And of course, this would be your print side. As far as the ImageClip 1 is concerned, you're looking at about the same media weight as the original 2-part ImageClip LaserLite. So if you're running this through an Oki data printer, you want to run at ultra heavy 1 or heavy paper. If you're running through any other color laser printer or copier, you want to set your media weight for between 140 to 150 grams per square meter. As far as the ImageClip 1 is concerned, if you run this paper through a standard 4-color process color laser printer or color laser copier, like most single sheet self-weeding papers, you have to have a color dark enough for enough toner weight to pull the emulsion when heated. So in other words, light gradients or halftones are probably not going to work on a traditional 4-color process printer. However, if you have the white toner printer, you basically set your white toner level to deposit some white toner behind the design. Usually I would say about around, if you have the forever transfer rip, about around 150% toner coverage. But long story short, if you run this paper through an Oki white toner system, because the Oki white toner system uses white as an underbase as well as a process color, it usually adds enough weight to your light or your white or lighter colors that they should be able to transfer just fine. Some other advantages to this is because it's a 1-step paper, not a 2-step, we're not having to go through the process of setting the emulsion and then walking over and applying the design. Remember, the ImageClip LaserLite 2-step process, you apply the emulsion at 220 degrees, but you apply the design at 375. If you've got one heat press, the constant fluctuation up and down between temperature ranges makes it tough. With this, you can basically set your press at one temperature, one press, and just knock out transfers, so to speak. So the advantage of this is the speed at which you can generate designs. So if you're in a heavy workflow environment and you're willing to sacrifice a shirt here or there to make up for the speed that the new ImageClip 1 can provide, then great. It's something that you definitely need to look at. If you're doing small or custom runs and you need a bit more precision because the graphic calls for it, I would still probably recommend the 2-step process. But let's go ahead and give this new ImageClip 1 a try here. So let me grab some t-shirts. That sound means my press is at temperature. I'm going to use a Hanes Beefy Tee 100% cotton t-shirt. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my heat press here. And before we hit it with the hot press, sticky lint roller. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love sticky lint rollers. The reason we do it is because we want to make sure there are no stray fibers down. If we put a stray fiber under heat, it's going to become part of our t-shirt. Okay. All right, now ImageClip 1 requires a medium to heavy pressure. It also requires an immediate peel. The trick to using any single sheet self-weeding paper is the timing as to when you pull the backing sheet. So let's give it a few shots here and let's see if we can figure it out live. All right, I am going to make a slight adjustment to the press. I want to start out a little heavier. All right, got a nice smooth area to work with. I'm going to trim away some of the excess film, but not all. The reason is if we do this properly, we shouldn't have any residue around our design. Should be a nice, clean transfer. Let's go ahead and set the design where we want it to appear. I'm going to cover with protective paper. And we're pressing at 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 seconds with a medium to heavy pressure. Now, if we were going on to a cotton poly blend or 100% cotton, or pardon me, 100% polyester, we would want to drop that temperature down to 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 seconds. But because we're going on cotton, we're bumping it up an extra 20 degrees. The directions say for an immediate hot peel, so let's see what happens here. Okay. Now, the one thing I did notice is as I was peeling, there was a little bit more grip toward the bottom as I was pulling down. So what might happen is you might get a little bit of disjoint here when you're talking about the design. In other words, because of the tension, it looks like the design's a little out of whack, but don't worry, we need to set the design anyway. So what we're going to do here, while the image is slightly warped on the garment anyway, we're going to go ahead and give it a good stretch because we want to give this layer some flexibility. But as I can see here, I don't really see any kind of box or outline around the design, so it looks like it's doing a pretty good job of a single sheet self-weave. But remember, we want to set the material here. So I want to smooth out as best I can. Going to grab one of my non-stick parchment sheets, cover it, and we want to do another 30-second press with the silicone sheet to set the emulsion into the fabric. So even though this is technically a one-sheet, one-step paper, what we're really talking about is two separate presses. One press at 320 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 seconds to set the emulsion onto the fabric, and then another press with this cover silicone sheet for the same temperature and time. Because what we're basically doing is setting that emulsion in. Okay. Sprite, if you could give me an overhead, please, I would appreciate it. Because what I want to do is lay this shirt out just so that we can see there is no border or outline around the design. As far as the feel of the ImageClip 1, I would probably say from my experience, it might feel a little heavier than the original ImageClip LaserLight 2-part sheet, but this is a very good weed attempt here from this ImageClip 1. From the testing that I've done so far with it, I've really been impressed. As far as wash testing is concerned, we've done some cold water wash tests up to 30 washes and dries. Seems to hold up just fine. What we're getting ready to do now is to put it through the old Condé rigorous 25 hot wash, hot dry, just to make sure. But as far as this product is concerned, like I said, the advantage of this product is if you need to produce graphics with speed, especially if you're dealing with line art, clip art, or vector art designs like these. Now, if the design were a bit more detailed or not distressed, you know, let's say for the sake of argument, I had some fine point lines within this design. If I need more precision, then I'm probably going back to the original two-step ImageClip LaserLight. But as far as knocking out transfers fast, the ImageClip 1 is doing a bang-up job from our testing so far here. Like I said, this is a brand new product from Neenah. And here at Condé, we hope to carry it real soon, but that's a nice demonstration on the new Neenah ImageClip 1. All right. Everybody with me so far? Everyone having a good time out there? Hope so. Got some more stuff to show you here. This I'm really looking forward to. And the reason I'm looking forward to this product here is, while we've had a bunch of innovations recently on the color laser side, we've really been searching high and low for some new or improved formulations on the inkjet side, because there are a lot of clients out there that use an inkjet printer to produce photographic quality transfers for light or dark garments, and we don't want to leave everyone behind here. Got to do a press adjustment before I make this announcement. I want to get the temperature up to 350 degrees, because what I want to show you here this is the new Neenah ImageClip, what they call 3G plus paper. Now, this graphic here just happens to be one of my favorites, scene from one of my favorite movies. He's a Cinderella story. But as you can see, not only can you use this whenever you have a lighter design against a colored garment, but it does a bang-up job on black garments as well. This is the new, what Neenah Coldenhove is going to call 3G plus JET-OPAQUE paper. What I love about this paper so far is the hand of the paper is much softer than any inkjet opaque material I've ever played around with. I mean, I know inkjet opaque materials are going to be a little heavier compared to color laser, but this stuff feels really good when you first apply it. Also, it's got a lot more flex to it than the original 3G formulation. Now, because of the extra flex in the original 3G formulation, it made that particular opaque material a little bit tougher to contour cut. Now, I don't know what they did at Neenah Coldenhove to make a jet opaque material more flexible, but yet easier to cut. But what I do love about this new formulation paper is got this little Bushwood Country Club logo here on the sleeve, but basically demonstrating that you can contour cut this stuff with ease. Also, the backing sheet, they've added a nice coating to the backing sheet where if you're using any type of application tape or application film where you cut out small pieces, you weed away the excess, and then you go ahead and pick up your pieces with the application film or tape. In the previous version, you had a tendency where if the film was a bit too tacky, it would stick to the backing sheet side of the 3G JET-OPAQUE. But now with this new coating that they put on the backing sheet, application films, application tapes release much easier. So if you're out there in the inkjet world, you're doing dark garments and you do a lot of printing and contour cutting, you really want to take a look at the 3G JET-OPAQUE here. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to take a couple of designs and we're going to go ahead and put some 3G JET-OPAQUE on. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go with my Calvin and Hobbes design. I've got my heat press set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 100% cotton. Now, just so you know, another improvement that was made to 3G JET-OPAQUE is we're able to lower the press temperature to be able to go on to cotton poly blends or even 100% polyester, which is a big deal for a white-based opaque material. Usually when you try to apply white opaque materials to 100% polyester, you get an issue that we refer to as dye migration, where because of the heat, the dyes in your dark polyester will bleed into the white opaque material, discoloring the material on the surface. So basically what that means is any image that you have on the surface of your opaque material gets discolored as well if the material underneath is discolored. But since we can apply this at 275 degrees, that should be a low enough temperature where dye migration doesn't happen. But what we're going to do is we're going to apply this design with a little bit of the excess white film to see if any dye migration happens at around 350 on a 100% cotton shirt. So let me go ahead and grab a cotton shirt here. Just one moment. Again, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use a Hanes Beefy Tee 100% cotton, get them anywhere t-shirt. Now, the nice thing about the 3G JET-OPAQUE is if you want to go with a lighter weight cotton than something like a 6.5 or 7 ounce, which is usually how the Hanes rolls. But if you want to go with a lighter weight cotton, you should be able to use it with the 3G JET-OPAQUE Plus. And remember, you're going to have more flexibility than your traditional 3G JET-OPAQUE. So let's go ahead and get our shirt on the platen. Oh, this shirt needs a lint roll. Oh, we're going to have to lint roll this shirt. Also want to do a quick pre-press to the shirt. One thing to consider, since we are in Mobile, Alabama, and it's the middle of summer, any type of cotton materials that we want to decorate, if we have them stored even within the building, odds are they're going to absorb a little bit of moisture from the atmosphere. So whenever we're doing our pre-press during the summertime months, I always like to go a few extra seconds than what I normally would. Because like I said, it's so humid in Mobile, Alabama, if it could absorb moisture, it's essentially going to turn into a moisture sponge. But now that we have the material dry, one of the nice features of the 3G JET-OPAQUE Plus is that it is a much easier film to separate and peel. And just to kind of show you here, I was able to essentially dig my fingernail in. Separates that easy. So, like I said, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to put the whole sheet down. Okay. Well, actually, I may not be able to put the whole sheet down because it looks like my sheet's a little bigger than my shirt. Oh, yes, folks. Let me take my autocorrect tool here. Let me just kind of trim a little this away just to make sure we can fit it on the platen. And everybody, Sprite is back behind the camera now. Thank goodness. I don't think we're going to win any Academy Awards this year, Sprite, but well. If we don't, we blame the writers, right?
We blame somebody.
So 350 degrees Fahrenheit using a couple of sheets of nonstick silicone. I want to go ahead and cover with a protective sheet. And like I said, I'm going 350 degrees because this is 100% cotton. If this were a cotton poly blend, drop it down to 325. If it's 100% polyester, drop it down to 275. One thing I'm waiting on from Neenah Coldenhove is they say they actually have hand-ironed instructions for this material. Waiting to get my hands on the procedure to see how that's done. I think that would probably make a good video of what can we slap on a t-shirt with a handheld iron. Normally, I don't recommend handheld irons. I like commercial heat presses because I like commercial businesses and I like people who make money. But if you wanted to play around with it and all you had was a handheld iron, hey, at least you could give this a shot. I think what Neenah Coldenhove was basically going for was an inkjet material that would be universal through any printer that any crafter could use to make a t-shirt. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead, lay this t-shirt down so we can get an overhead view. Like I said, what I really love about this 3G Plus is the material is super flexible. It is super soft. Like I said, it is the softest inkjet opaque material I've ever had the opportunity to play around with. And As far as the type of printer that we can run this through, like I said, it's designed to be universal. So we could use any inkjet printer that's out there on the market. My personal preference is I like the Epson brand inkjet printers just because of the quality of the Epson ink. You want to make sure that you find a system that has individual cartridges to it so that if you run out of a particular color, you're just replacing that color and not a multi-cartridge. Those tend to get a bit expensive whenever you're doing inkjet transfers. But like I said, as far as this material is concerned, if you've played around with the original 3G opaque material in the past, when you get your hands on this 3G Plus, you're absolutely going to love it. Because like I said, it's a softer feel, it's a softer hand, it's definitely more flexible, yet somehow, some way, they've made it easier to cut with an optical cutter or a vinyl cutter. Now, if you're attempting to cut this material, what you want to do is use a standard 45-degree blade in your cutter. As far as a gram force is concerned, I would probably start out with an 80 to 90 gram force and do your test there. What you want to do to make sure that you cut this material accurately is slow down the speed of your cutter. Now, normally when I have an opaque material for, let's say, like a laser printer, I can let my cutter run at about 30 centimeters per second and just let it zip. Whenever I'm dealing with the 3G JET-OPAQUE original formulation, I had to slow that cutting speed down from about 30 centimeters a second down to about 3 to 5 centimeters a second just to make sure that the blade wouldn't skip over the material because of the flexibility of the material itself. This I actually played around with the cutting speed of about 8 to 10, and it seemed to cut just fine. So for further testing, what I'll probably do is ramp up that cutting speed just to see if I can get it to cut quicker. But reality is I would rather go a little slower and have it cut accurately than to try to speed up where it, kind of bumps over the material and it doesn't cut clean. But like I said, the backing sheet has a nice coating to it. So if you're using an application tape or using an application film, picking up the pieces should be relatively easy. We're expecting the release for this product from Neenah very soon. Definitely look forward to picking this up in our product line. Like I said, the 3G JET-OPAQUE was a great product. I think the 3G Plus is going to be even better. So definitely looking forward to this. Okay, so now that we basically have a few minutes left in the presentation, I kind of wanted to go over some of the other transfer papers that we are looking at here at Condé that we are looking to bring aboard possibly by the end of this year, beginning of next year. We are in talks with Forever Paper. We are looking at a product that they call Multitrans, which is a self-weeding transfer paper for porous, non-porous, coated or uncoated hard substrates. It's a great universal laser printer paper for doing hard substrates. We're looking at that product. We are also looking at a special type of foil that Forever offers where we can transfer either silver or gold onto a hard substrate, what they call their Multitrans Select products. Looking at that because the great thing is we could sublimate an item, we can overlay it with silver or gold. Like I said, enhance the value, add a little value to the product, get more profit out of the job. So we're looking at those hard substrate solutions from Forever Paper. We're also evaluating what we're going to call laser imprint ceramic and glass. It's a special type of hard surface paper that's more clear coat, more thin coat, designed to decorate acrylics and glass without leaving the heavy emulsion residue that you would normally associate with a hard surface paper. Anybody who's ever put a hard surface paper on the ceramic or glass has usually had to do a little bit of cleanup with the design with acetone to get some of that excess emulsion away so that you get the true mirrored effect out of your glass or out of your acrylic. This product hopefully will be a solution to having to do a lot of cleanup whenever you're using a hard surface paper on something like glass or acrylic or any type of mirrored object. Of course, we're bringing in the Forever sublimation to cotton products. That should be arriving here to Condé real soon. We're definitely looking forward to carrying those products. Sprite is going to head up that sublimation to cotton project. I will lend my expertise where I can. but sublimation is really not my forte anymore. Transfer papers are, but since this is kind of a combination of both technologies, we're both going to dive headfirst into it. But the one thing I can tell you from my testing of the sublimation of cotton products is that it works very consistently compared to some of the other sublimation of cotton products we've tried to launch here in the past, namely the reveal papers. The issue that we had with the reveal, just speaking bluntly, was that there was a very fine window that you had to have the paper within in order to get it to transfer and release properly. In other words, you had to be at 387 degrees Fahrenheit. If you were a little high or a little low, just off by a few degrees, the process didn't work. You had to have an exact pressure to get the process to work. If you were under or you were over, you got poor results. The time was set at 18 seconds for a specific reason. What we've noticed with our testing with the Forever sublimation to cotton products is that range of what you can achieve with an acceptable transfer, it's much more forgiving than the Reveal product we tried a few years ago. So we're really hoping that the Forever solution is going to be a workable solution for everyone out there. Like I said, we should have that product in within the next couple of weeks. Just make sure to tune in to Condé TV as always as we update it with new product information, new instructions, things of that nature. So that kind of concludes my overview, so to speak, of the new paper products that are arriving soon to Condé, the paper products that have been updated by vendors of Condé. I'm really impressed with a lot of these product updates, especially on the side of Neenah Coldenhove. I think they've done a bang-up job reformulating the ImageClip LaserDark and reformulating the 3G JET-OPAQUE, which they're going to call 3G JET-OPAQUE Plus. They are also working on a reformulated Laser 1 opaque. We are in the process of testing that product now, but as far as the testing on that product, it's just not ready to show yet. But we're working on it. Neenah Coldenhove's working on it, and I'm sure that product's going to be available real soon. Like I said, we're looking into picking up on our Forever line of products. We're looking to expand our own laser imprint lines because hard surface papers and the white toner printers have just really taken off in popularity. So remember, we've got our t-shirt transfer papers on flash sale all day today. Some incredible deals on our t-shirt transfer papers, and it's a ton of them. Make sure you go to our Condé Open House page on our website, click on the button for transfer paper flash sales, and it'll take you straight to the page. We've got all the papers listed on that one sale. Yes, and don't forget that sales reps are here to take your order and answer your questions. You can get in touch with them just like you always do, 1-800-826-6332. You can also reach them by email today if need be. Remember, we are offering some great specials on the Oki systems, the 711 WT, the 8432 WT. With the 8432, Oki Data is also throwing in a replacement toner set. So if you're looking to get into a white toner system, today is a good day for you. And remember, I'm going to take all the questions from this presentation, and I am going to sit down and answer them all, and we will release a new and improved FAQ sheet. We'll make sure to get that sheet to everybody who attended our virtual open house. I'm going to go ahead and give this a wrap up here because it's almost time for the next presentation. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone for taking the time out of their Saturday to visit with us. We certainly do appreciate you. We definitely appreciate your business and the relationships that we've built over the course of all these years. Because of the current situation, I'm so sorry that we cannot be face-to-face. I would love to see everyone at an industry trade show. I would love to be able to host the White Toner Academies that we were originally planning. Unfortunately, got to end this on a downer and let everyone know that the White Toner Academy that we had scheduled for Charlotte, North Carolina in November has been officially canceled thanks to the COVID. So unfortunately, the world we live in at the moment, but if we stick together, we will all get through this. If you have any questions about the material that we covered, please go ahead, put it on the message board, you know, ask through the Hoover app, send an email to your sales rep, send an email to me, DJ DeWitt at Condé.com. We want to make sure we get your questions answered. Want to make sure that you have all the information to make your informed decisions. And we appreciate all the business that you do with us here at Condé Systems. So until next time, I'm Doug DeWitt, your virtual t-shirt transfer paper product manager. Thank you so much for tuning in and hope to see everyone soon.
Okay. Bye, guys.